Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to stretch that out so you can see it a little bit better. It's a beautiful stitch in any colour of yarn, as you can see from this. It will go any way up. This is the back of it. It's quite flat on the back, but it's still a pretty pattern on the back as well. You can do this in any colours that you want. I've used this hobby yarn, and this is a carnival, and look at that, it's absolutely beautiful. So for this pattern, your stitch count is 8. So we're going to do sets of 8. Do as many as you want, and do it till the width of blanket or project that you want. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and then keep doing your sets of 8 until it's as long as you want it to be, or as wide. So I'm just going to do a small sample for this. Now I'm going to add an extra 2 stitches, 1 and 2. Now into each stitch, now you're going to go into the second stitch in the chain, 1 and 2, and you're going to do a UK double crochet. That's a single crochet if you're in the USA. You're going to put 1 into every stitch all the way along your foundation chain. So count 1 and 2 and just go through the stitch, pull through, yarn over and through the 2 loops, then into the next stitch. You're going to do 1 into each of your foundation chains. So I've done my foundation chain. So what you're going to do now is you're going to chain 1 and turn. Now at the beginning and at the end, you're always going to put 2 double crochets at the beginning and at the end. And if you're in the USA, that's single crochets for you. So right into that very first stitch, you're going to put 1 double crochet and put 1 into the next stitch. Now you're going to chain 2, 1, 2. You're going to skip 2, 1, 2. Now into the next stitch, you're going to put a cluster, a bobble. It's going to be 5 treble crochets all crocheted together. So if you're in the USA, that's 5 double crochets for you. So yarn over, you're going to skip 2 and go into that stitch. Yarn over, pull through, keep it on the hook, keep that stitch there, that's 1. Yarn over into the same stitch, that's 2. Yarn over, through, yarn over, through 2 loops. So that's you've got 4 loops, but you've got 3 stitches. 4 and 1 more is 5. Now you're going to put your yarn over and come through all those loops, and you're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. You're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and into the next stitch you're going to do a double crochet into that one. You're going to do a double crochet into the next one and 1 more, so that's 3 double crochets along. Now don't worry about your bobble, it's on that side. So you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 and do a bobble into the 3rd stitch. So that's 5 treble crochets. Keep it on the hook, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yarn over, pull through all of those loops and chain 2, 1, 2. Skip 2 stitches and you're going to do 3 double crochets along, 1 into the next stitch and 1 into the next stitch, chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 and do a bobble. That's 5 UK treble crochets, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yarn over through them all and chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 and do 3 treble crochets along, 1, 2 and 3, chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 and do your bobble. So this will be my last bobble, 1, 2, 3, 4 and your 5th one. Now yarn over and come through all those loops. I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. So I've done my last bobble and I'm going to chain 2. I've got 1, 2. To skip 2 and I'm going to put a double crochet into the last 2 stitches, 1 into that one and 1 into that one. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Now you'll notice that all your bobbles are on this side. So we're going to do, when your bobbles are on this side, we're going to do a row of double crochet. And if you're in the USA, that's single crochets for you. You're going to go into that very first stitch, it's 1 into this one. You're going to put 2 into this chain 2 space here, 1 and 2. You're going to put 1 into the top of your cluster, into the stitch in the top of your cluster. Move to the chain space, put 2 in the chain space, 1, 2, and 1 into each of these 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 1 into there. You'll put 2 into the chain space, 1 into the top of the cluster and 2 into this chain space. So 1, 2, 1 into the top of the cluster or your bobble and 2 into this chain space, and work along putting 1 double crochet into each stitch and 2 in your chain spaces, and you'll have 2 here on the end, 1 here and 1 here. And now you're going to repeat that bobble row. These are the 2 rows you'll keep repeating, the bobble row and then this double crochet row, and you get these. You're going to chain 2, 1, 2 and turn your work. Now we're going to stagger the bobbles, so we're going to do a half a bobble on this side. So right in, we've got a chain of 2 here, and right in to this space you're going to put 2 double crochets. That's 1 and 2. Now pull through all of those loops. You're going to chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 stitches and then do your 3 double crochets. So we've done a half a bobble here. Skip 2 and do 1, 1 into the next one and a double crochet into the next stitch, and that brings you in between the 2 bobbles. So you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 and build a bobble here. Now this bobble will end up in the middle of these 2. So yarn over, you're skipping 2 stitches and build the bobble. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yarn over, pull through all of those loops, chain 2, skip 2 and do 3 double crochets. So skip 2 and then do your 3 double crochets, 1 into each stitch, 1, 2 and then 3, chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 and make your bobble. 1, 2, 3, keep them all on the same hook, keep them all on the hook, 4 and 5. Yarn over and through them all, chain 2, skip 2 and do 3 double crochets along, 1, 1 into the next stitch and 1 into the next one. And what that does is it staggers your bobble, so your bobbles are staggered in between each other. So chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 and make a bobble. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yarn over through all the loops, chain 2, skip 2 and you'll do 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. You want to chain 2, 1, 2, skip these 2 stitches and put 3 treble crochets into this last one. We're going to do a half a bobble. So that's 1, 2 and 3. Yarn over, pull through all of those. You're just going to chain 1 and turn. So right into the top of that bobble that you've just done, right into there, just push your hook through and make a double crochet. A little bit tight. You're going to put 2 into the chain space. We're going to do that double crochet row, 1 into each of these stitches here. That's 1, 2 and 3, 2 into the chain space, 1, 2, 1 into the top of the bobble, 2 into this chain space, 1 and 2, 1 into each of these stitches all the way along. Now when we get to here at the end, you're going to put 1 double crochet into the top of that half bobble, 1 into there, and this is what you have. You've got your little bobbles all staggered. So now you're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going back to this row here. So 2 double crochets, 1 into the first stitch, 1 into the second stitch, chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 and then build a bobble. So we're going to work like that until your blanket's as big as you want it to be. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, one more, that's 5, through them all, chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2, then I'll do my 3 double crochets. So skip 2 and 1, 2 and 3, chain 2, 1, 2, so I've done my last bobble and I'm going to do my 2 chain. I'm going to skip 2 stitches and put a double crochet into my last 2 stitches on the end, 1 into each stitch. That's 1 and 1 into this one. This one might be a little bit tight, so 1 on top of that bobble. So you're going to chain 1 and turn. Now you can see your pattern emerging. All your bobbles should pop to this side. So we're going to do the 1 row of double crochets along, 1 into each stitch. So that's 1 there, 1 there, 2 into the chain, 1, 2, and 1 into the top of that bobble, 2 into the chain, and 1 into each of the stitches along, and you'll do that all the way to the end. And then I'll show you how to do that half bobble row again. So I'm at the end and I'm going to put a double crochet into the last 2 stitches. So now the next row is that half bobble row again. That's what staggers your bobbles and makes this pretty pattern. So you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, don't do those chains too tight, and turn. Now right into there you're going to put 2 treble crochets, but keep them on your hook. So yarn over, that's 1, keep it on the hook, yarn over, and 2. Now yarn over, pull through, and chain 2, 1, 2, and that's you done a half a bobble, and that's going to let you stagger your bobbles across. So you're going to skip 2 and do your 3 double crochets. So you've done the bobble part, so skip 2 and do 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2, and then make a full bobble, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yarn over through all of those loops and chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2, and then you'll do your 3 treble crochets, chain 2, skip 2, do your bobble, and you'll do that little pattern all the way along. Just rewind the video and follow those rows. So you've got your bobble here and a row of double crochet, then you'll do a half a bobble here and a row of double crochet, then you'll move your next bobble, just rewind and watch that row again and do that one, then rewind the video and watch that half bobble one. You'll soon get the hang of it, and then you'll have this, and then you'll have this pretty beautiful stitch. Look at this, it's absolutely beautiful. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Just click on the subscribe button, and if you click on the bell icon, YouTube will tell you when I put up another tutorial. And also thank you so much to all the people who have been going on the link underneath the video to my coffee page and buying me a cup of coffee. Thanks so much for that. So until the next time, happy crafting, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.